Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Sally. I hope you're in for some interesting, fun things here today. First of all, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we are here meeting on today and acknowledge the elders past, present, and emerging. Today, I want to show you how I use AI in my event planning business. I'm not an AI expert, so I just want to get that out there straight away. I don't know all the AI tools. There's a million different tools that you can use with AI. I only use a handful of them, but I recommend that you follow a whole bunch of people who do use AI, and they will be able to keep you up to date on all the changes with all the different platforms out there. So I'm going to show you today, though, what I do with my AI. I'd also like to acknowledge the previous speakers. I don't know if you've had any time to come and watch some of the presentations that have been on today, but they've been pretty amazing. Has anybody else been here for any of those presentations? Yes? Excellent. Thank you, Simon, at the back. So yeah, please, there's more tomorrow as well, and there's another person after me. So I know we're in between, presentations and drinks on stands. What I want to talk to you about today is how I'm using AI to help me, particularly with creativity. I'm a bit creatively challenged. I'm a logistics expert, is what I'm known for. I know how to do the run sheets, the bookings, the speech notes, telling everybody where they need to be and when they need to be there. When it comes to doing things like pitch documents or trying to demonstrate to a graphic designer the kind of look and feel that I want, I find that very, very difficult to do. So I'm going to show you some tools today that I use AI for to do that. So this one in particular, what if I can show you how to go from a blank site space to a concept design that is sent to a client to get them to give you the go-ahead or give you some feedback in a 4-hour period. I don't know about you, but this kind of thing would normally take me about a week to do. By the time I do all the sourcing and everything that I have to do, this has been done in 4 hours. What I like to use AI for is I use my event intelligence, and I've tested this. It's my belief right now, and it'll probably change into the future, but right now, AI doesn't know how to be an event planner. If you try and ask it to create an event plan for you, do a run sheet, do anything logistically for you, it will forget things, it will miss things out because it doesn't know what it doesn't know. But you know what you know, and so you can use it to enhance what it is that you're doing with the kind of events that you're planning. So my event intelligence plus artificial intelligence using a handful of AI tools, in a matter of hours, I was able to concept, design, and pitch an event outline in as little as 4 hours. It helps make it with faster decision making. So I'm getting a client to give me feedback in that tiny amount of time instead of it taking me a week to create the thing and then them spending 3 days debilitating over it and then coming back to me. So I'm getting decisions done much faster. I'm getting instant clarification on whether I'm on the right track. So rather than spending a whole week brainstorming something and then finding out I completely missed the mark on what the brief was, I'm getting that feedback straight away. I'm getting really clear messaging from the client and I'm getting more successful outcomes. Who am I? This is an example of using AI. This is done in about 30 seconds from my website using a program called NotebookLM, which is a Google product. If you pay for your Google, you probably already have this option in your Google. This takes about 30 seconds. I put my web link in from my website and click a button and ask it to create an infographic for me. And there it is, already done. Now, you might see some typing mistakes in there. You might see some words in there that are a bit weird. You can just export this into Canva and fix up those little bits and pieces. You can change colors. You can do all the things that you want to do. But to get this infographic done in 30 seconds is pretty epic. So I won't go through any of that, but I've been doing this for a long time. Events, that is, not using AI for events. I've been doing events for a long time. I've done major stuff, minor stuff. I coach and train people using different techniques and technologies in their event planning. So today, I'm going to share 3 things with you today that AI can help you do. So who wants to get out of the trenches and into the tasks that we love? Hands up. Yes? Excellent. Some of you don't. Some of you enjoy being in the trenches. That's okay. Today, I'm going to show you how to go from scope to pitch faster, see how AI can help you with logistics and admin, and how to use it to help you brief others more effectively, which is the thing that is of most value to me. So what is AI capable of? AI is capable of writing, absolutely. We're all using ChatGPT to help us improve our writing skills, or some of us are. Social media, absolutely, we can use it for our social media. Creating images and videos, ChatGPT has become phenomenal. If you haven't been in ChatGPT for a long time because you thought the images were rubbish, get back in there. They're amazing. But this is AgentGPT. The first AI agent I realised could actually do my job for me. So as I said before, I was an expert in logistics, dynamite in execution, and I could easily get the best deal going. We've all got those value propositions that we put on ourselves. I'm a great negotiator. I can get you a great price for anything. Then one day I was in a seminar and I saw the presenter run this AgentGPT. Now, it's a bit hard to follow because it's going pretty fast, but essentially what's happening, someone in the audience asked if it could plan her speaking tour, if AI could plan her speaking tour for her. The presenter promptly walked over to the computer and said, sure, let's do it now. They had a few briefs that they gave the AI agent, which was within 4 hours driving distance, east coast of Australia, community venues, no smaller than XYZ. It ran this program and was able to build this tour for her and give her not only all the places that she would be able to host this tour, it actually reached out, it sent emails to these venues to inquire as to whether the dates were available. So if you think your expertise is in finding venues, doing good deals, having relationships, having contacts, that might be the case now, but it won't be very long before people won't need that expertise anymore. However, what they do need is your knowledge about whether a venue works for that particular thing that that person wants to create. This is telling you everything that it did, everything that it ran through in that process. What it doesn't know, though, it doesn't know what kind of room setup that speaker wants. It doesn't know whether the speaker wants a nice warm ambiance or it's a corporate gig and they need, plenty of natural light and all of those things. So all of that natural intelligence that you have as event planners, you need to put into this and tell it what you're looking for and then let it go do the work for you. So I really want you to think about AI as your assistant. Who has an assistant who works with them? Well done. Excellent. One person in the room. The rest of us are working by ourselves. And this is what I find. I have always wanted an assistant to help me. So this has now become my assistant. The next thing I want to show you is things like creating a look and feel. So this is a cohesive look and feel that I created for a conference recently because the client didn't have one. It's a university. They didn't want to use the university branding because then it would look like everything else in the university. But as technicians, they didn't really know what they wanted as far as the look and feel was concerned. As someone who's graphic designally challenged, as you can tell from my presentation skills, I didn't know what to do either. So I used Midjourney. I'd already talked to the client about the purpose of the conference. I already knew what it was about and put this prompt into Midjourney. The conference was on the effects of heat on the health of older persons. I wanted something that represented a hot environment, that kind of kept reminding people what the conference was about. So I put this prompt in here and I got it to create, this is the image that it created for me. I was like, boom, how good is that? Awesome, that's exactly what I want. But then I asked it, can you animate this for me? Can you turn this into a video for me? Oh my God. PowerPoint background, boom, done. And there's no other prompt. There was no, I don't know if you're watching what people are talking about online, but you're having to write essays of prompts. You need to become an expert on prompt design and, invite your AI, you're my marketing expert, blah, blah, blah. Yes, absolutely. Those things will get you better results. But to get the results that you just need, sometimes you don't even need to worry about that kind of thing. So it just animated that for me, and we were able to use that for PowerPoint backgrounds. Now, if you're working with clients, most of the time you're probably having to educate them that a cohesive look and feel across everything is very, very important. You need your customer or your delegate or your client or your audience attendee to know they're in the right place, they're reading the right piece of paperwork, the email that came to me is the right email that they need, the wayfinding signage that they're seeing is the right wayfinding signage. We need something, we need some sort of graphic for that. So we just use that image across everything. So easy. So it can be translated into programs, signage, signatures. Again, you can import all this into Canva, which also has lots of AI. So who wants to see a case study on how this works in a real event? With a handful of tools, I'm going to show you how I went from brief to execution in a matter of hours. Not days, not weeks, hours. So who wants to see behind the scenes? Yay! At least half of you. That's good. That's good. All right. So imagine you're having a glorious day, feeling productive, getting great outcomes, maybe enjoying a coffee, some sunshine. You're feeling good about the week ahead. You've got everything planned perfectly, and you've even managed to squeeze in a little me time. That lasts about 30 seconds, right? Because we all know our weeks never look like that. But I thought it would be nice to imagine it just for a minute. But here we are, getting through our week when we received the email from the client site visit we did a few weeks ago, and they are ready to go. This is the email. This is essentially the brief that I get. So it's basically saying, great, loved it, you came out. It's typically vague, it lacks in direction. They're seriously looking for my expertise to tell them what's next. This is the real email, by the way. The problem is the week's already jam-packed and you just got this and you need to get it done fast. It'll take you a few days to get it all together, get it approved, then ordered, ready to ship. So let's see how AI can help us do that. So starting with the site plan and working out the footprint I have to work with, that's the first thing I need to do. So I don't know how big this space is. Yes, I took this photo. Yes, I went and did a site visit, but we didn't have time to measure it, and the school didn't have time to measure it either. Like, they haven't since had time to measure it for me. So my expertise is in step one. So I need AI to figure out how big this space is for me. But there's a few things that I need to know. For example, the fence panels. I know a fence panel's typically about 1.2 metres. I can use ChatGPT to figure out what's the standard size of a sail, which will then help me figure out the distance between the two poles, and I can give it a little bit of information. But if I just said to ChatGPT, here's a photo, tell me the size of this footprint, it wouldn't give me accurate information. If I didn't know what I was doing, I wouldn't know those extra questions to ask. So it takes a bit of chatting, some clarification, sharing some intel. So I asked it to consider the marked area, ascertain the size, provided some context. I asked it for some context to make sure it was understanding what I was doing, and tell me the size of the footprint. So this went back and forth for a little bit, probably about 10 minutes. But then I get a width of 15 metres, depth of 5, total usable area is 75 square metres. Because of my own experience, I know it's not 75 square metres. It doesn't look 75 square metres to me. I reckon it's a bit bigger than that. So I've decided that it's 100 square metres. So actually, I think maybe it's 7 metres between those poles. So it gives me the final footprint. And this is, again, I'm just having a conversation with ChatGPT here using this photo for reference. So then I tell it what I'm doing. So I've asked for some concept ideas based on jazz club feel, and I'm presented with some theme options. So it gives me a bit of a list of things that I might consider in this event. So main lounges, performer area. Like I said, I've given it context though. So I've told it, because I've had a conversation with the client. So while the client only gave me, a half a sentence in an email, I've had a chat with them, and I know from my own experience, I know what's going to work best in this space. They want to elevate the space. They've charged extra money for people to use this space, and I know what's going to be worthwhile for the client. So I then ask it to give me a mock-up of where it's going. Like that's instantaneous. That's the first picture that it gave me. And I'd said to it, I wanted an underground jazz club feel. That's what I was going for. I could just see it. That's a nighttime event. I could see everybody sitting on picnic tables, picnic blankets on the hill. But that little part there on that concrete pad, I could just see this festoon lighting. I could just see exactly what it presented me with. So I like what I'm seeing so far, so I ask it for a prop list. So it asked me about the theme. So it's checking in with me about the theme, and then it just gives me the full prop list. So if I wanted that picture, here's all the things that I need from that picture. So now I need it to research where I can get these things from and how much it's going to cost. So I switch over to a different AI. I use Manus AI for this because Manus is very good at research and diving into websites, that kind of thing. So I jump into our research AI. And this is Manus AI. It is just simply going out onto the internet. It's searching suppliers for me. It's finding websites that have the things on it that I need. It's trying to find prices for me. And again, this takes hardly no time at all. So I'm happy with the final list, and now I need it to finalize the pricing for me. So can you give me the items in a table with a comparison from each supplier? So it gives me the whole package of what I needed. It's telling me essentially what budget I need to have. Now, I will preface here by saying if this is the point where you would then pick up the phone and ring those people. Like, this is where your own intelligence starts to come in, and you're like, okay, cool, I've got a bit of an idea. You don't send this to the client. You pick up the phone. I mean, you'll know from your own experience whether this is on par or not. I knew this was. I knew that, like, my office is in a business called the Prop House, so I knew how much things cost. And so I knew this was pretty much on par with what I needed. But this is the point where you'll go, I better ring some of these suppliers and just double check. Do they stock it? Is it the price that I think it is? Are there any extras that I need to know about? So I'm happy with the final price, and I now have my pricing table and can decide what I want to keep and what I want to discard. And the next step is to confirm the price, which, as I say, you should do personally. You need to ring the supplier and double check with them. But it's giving me all these lovely, neat little tables, which I love. And now the pitch. So I have my brief, I have my prices, and now it's time to create the pitch. I don't know about you, but like I said before, and this presentation probably demonstrates my skills at creating presentations pretty well, I'm not creative. I'm about the facts, not so much about the prettiness and the colour and all of that kind of thing. But we know people buy on colour, people buy on design. Our clients are looking for how well did you create that PowerPoint presentation is a representation of how well you can execute my event sometimes. And so for me, that I normally have to outsource this to someone. Now, if you have graphic designers in your team, this is a perfect opportunity to give them better than the brief that you've given them before. So you can create here exactly the kind of thing you're looking for, and then give this to your graphic designer and say, here's what I'm thinking. Here's the kind of thing that I'd like you to create for me. So we're not taking anybody out of the equation. This is using your own intelligence. If you have teams that are graphic designers, writers, all that kind of thing, use them. And this is the brief that I put in there. So I've basically taken the text from ChatGPT. I've added the photos in here. So I've picked out the photos that I like. So I take what AI created for me and I pop it in a Word doc along with the images it created in the relevant spaces. And yes, I could have used AI to do this, but that would take a little bit of training of the AI to get it right. And it was just quicker for me to just do the whole cut and paste. But it's also a sense check for me. I actually want to create the document myself so I can read it along the way and just make sure everything is correct. Again, another benefit of knowing what I know. And now we get into some more fun programming. This is a program called Gamma. Has anyone heard of Gamma? Yes? One? Anyone else? Yes? It is fun. Gamma is so much fun. The funnest part about it, though, is it can do presentations for you in like 30 seconds. So this presentation was done pretty quickly. So this one will turn my brief into a presentation. I can let it go word for word. So you will see there, I can go card by card, or I can give it the whole document. I can ask it to just give it to me word by word, or I can use AI to make it a little bit more special, that kind of thing. There's a variety of styles, and I do 2 versions to see how they look. This takes about 30 seconds, and the presentation is done. It's my document word for word. It's added in a few more images to help with the vibe, and I actually like the images that it's put in there, but I can change them out if I need to. But as much as I love this look, my client is a school, so it's not really quite the look that a private school is looking for. So I want a bit of a cleaner look and feel that relies on the content more so than this dark, moody kind of look. So I run another one, again, another 30 seconds, and this is the one I share with the client. So as you can see, it's a bit cleaner, it's a bit brighter. It's got the prices in there. It's got the estimate. It's got some inspiration for them to kind of get a feel of where I'm coming from. And the result is success. The thing is, they've really resonated with what I've presented to them. So the words on the left are the email that they sent to me. Thanks, we love it. We have some great responses from our committee. So this is perfect, right? We're working with a committee here, so we've got to go and talk to another 10 people. Normally, as we all know, this takes hours and hours. They're able to come back to me really quickly and tell me, we like that, we don't like this, we love that, we don't love that. So AI plus 4 hours is a week of my time back. The estimated time breakdown is there on the right-hand side. And it really did only take about 4 hours, not including the site visit, of course. That's using ChatGPT, Manus AI, and Gamma, 3 tools. I don't run around using different tools all over the place because they take a little bit of learning about you. They don't take learning to use. They take a little bit learning about you and your style and how you like to write and all that kind of thing. And as I say, there's excellent people to follow for that kind of thing. But all of this took between 3 and 4 hours from start to finish. Now, I bet you're wondering how it looked. Do you want to know how it looked? Yes, 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 yes. 1, 2, 3. Nothing like the original. Now, as we know, weather is our biggest problem. And that night, it pissed down with rain and we couldn't do any of it. But, we'd already created the look and feel. They were already on board with what we were doing. So we still got all the stuff that we got. They presented the event in the basketball stadium and we just made it work in the basketball stadium. But I really feel like all the pre-work was done and it was done quickly. Imagine if you'd spent a week and a half or 2 weeks on this concept, design and pitch, and then you couldn't deliver any of it. Like, that's just such a waste of time. So it looked gorgeous, it was well received, and gave a completely different vibe to how this event is normally delivered. So they would normally just deliver this in the basketball stadium without any of this theming at all. Super happy client. And I didn't have to drop the ball on anything else to get it done. I think that's the key thing. Like, I'm sure you're all the same as me. I think I've got my week sorted, and then someone rings me or emails me and says, hey, can you do this thing? We need this straight away. All of a sudden someone's decided that they wanted to implement something that was off the table last week, and you've got to reshuffle everything. So I think it's a really great opportunity to use it for that kind of thing. So where to from here? What else can you use AI for? Well, I've shown you the infographic already, but this is another one I created, which was for dietaries. I wanted to show a client what all the different dietaries mean. This is one of those ones that had some really interesting words in there, and I needed to be very clear that it was correct. I wanted to make sure it was accurate. So I did actually export this back into Canva, read it very carefully, make sure that everything was right before I posted it. But a speaker bio list, I'm going to show you in a minute. You can get it to make a website. I'm going to show you in a minute. Help you with your program. So one of the things I've used it for is when the client has designed the program and given me the program, I've just run it through AI to say, is this the most effective way to present this program? Are we telling the story in the order that we need to tell the story? Have we covered all of the topics that we promised in our website when we went out to market and said, hey, we're going to create this conference, you should come? Have we actually met all those obligations that we promised? And so it can give me a little bit of a report in the programming. I can ask it, is it diverse enough? Have we got a lot of DIE in our speaking panel, in our lineup, that kind of thing? Promo videos and daily cuts. If you're not using CapCut, get on it. CapCut is the easiest tool to use to break up all your content and share your content across all your social media, your websites, etc. I'll be including that in the handout that I send to you. So if you didn't catch the QR code earlier, if you missed the start, there's a QR code just here on each screen. Grab that, pop your name in there to make sure that you get the presentation. And the other thing is walk on, walk off music, which I hope might play. So you can use AI to create music. You have to be very careful with copyright. I do have some information on my blog on Red Lanyard in relation to copyright and music in conferences and events. I'm also doing a podcast episode in a couple of weeks' time with One Music, which is Australia's music copyright authority, APRA and AMCOS. They're going to come and do a podcast episode with me and talk about music rights in terms of events, conferences, festivals, that kind of thing. So this is building the speaker deck and web page from a list of names and URLs. So I took the speaker list from this stage, the SPY stage. I got ChatGPT to turn it into a table, and then I put the table into Gamma and I asked it to make a website for me and to also find all the LinkedIn URLs of everyone for me as well. This is the AIME directory of who's on the speak. This took 30 seconds. Again, in Gamma, I uploaded the table into Gamma and said, please turn that into a website for me. And it just pulls all the information out. Pulls it from the website, pulls it from the table that I put in there as well. So using the Spike speaker list, putting it into a table, then using Gamma to create this website. So, as I say, with your intelligence, don't forget that part. You cannot abdicate any of your tasks and just assume this is going to work. If you do, you will definitely come unstuck. It's your intelligence plus artificial intelligence, which gives you that exponential return on the event experience. And this is what you need to tell your clients. If you're working with clients and they're thinking, well, I can just use AI to do it, they can't, because they don't know what's missing. They don't know what they don't know, and you know what you know. So we can take images like this. So that was a stock image that I just asked Midjourney to animate for me, and boom, it's done. Like, none of these things take a long time. It's just done. I want you to leave with 3 things today. AI can't replace you because your clients need your intel to get it right. It's your intelligence plus artificial intelligence that will offer the greatest value. The speed at which you can conduct the arbitrary, the admin, the logistics, and all of that running around, I really want you to understand you can exponentially speed this up so that those things that you really don't like doing or don't have time to do or wish you had an assistant to do, except for you because you've already got one. Maybe your assistant wants an assistant. You can use AI to do all of that. And that your value is in how you see things, your internal navigation system, the millions of neurons that have connected over time. You direct AI like it's your assistant, and you will be even more unstoppable. So thank you. And please remember, your value is in what you know, not what you do. It's taken me a long time to learn that, but it is absolutely about what I know, not necessarily what I do. Thank you, everybody. That is my presentation.
Situations. Parent parents living terrible. Situations. Get humans. Humans.